It was over a decade ago when Gilas Pilipinas first represented the country. Now fast forward to 2023, the team is set to compete in the FIBA World Cup right in front of a jam-packed Filipino crowd. But how far can the national team go, and are we all set with Jordan Clarkson leading the way? Joining us for an all-out conversation live inside the studio is the first ever head coach of Gilas Pilipinas with Cristu JV Casio, Marcos Dautit, a young Japet Aguilar back in the day, Coach Rajko Toroman live with us. I'm going to greet you in Serbian, Coach. I'm looking for my translation. First of all, welcome to the show. I'm still looking for, how do you say good evening in...
Dobro večer.
Dobro večer. Okay. This one, I'll say this. Volim te.
Yeah, I love you. That means...
I love you. Volim te.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Rajko.
Hvala.
Means
Hvala.
thank you.
Yeah.
How are you, Coach? Welcome back to the Philippines. How have you been?
I'm good, after a long time, I'm coming back to Manila and I'm very happy. I spent with my family great 5 years from 2008 to 2013.
Yeah.
And it's nice memories about that time. And I'm very happy here because I can see big respect from the people here for the job what I did with Gilas, even in a mall or somewhere on the street.
Ask for your picture, talking to you.
Yeah, talking, ask everything, and that make me really proud for the time, and I like to be here.
Of course, Coach Rajko, how can we forget? You were the first ever head coach of the first ever Gilas back in 2009 to 2011. Then you went on to coach other PBA teams, Barako, Petron, I believe, San Miguel. Yes, and then you went on to coach Jordan. You went to Jordan, you went to China, you went to Bahrain, you went to Indonesia. You're well-traveled. You're all over the world. Now you're back to the Philippines. What made Rajko Toroman come back here?
I said, I like to be here. And the passion of the people for basketball, you cannot find anywhere in the world. And this is one of the reasons that I'm here. The boss, Frank Lau, invited me, with his son, Jason, and of course, Jacob. And of course, Charles Shu was connection, because even I was in Serbia and somewhere else, we were connected. And I feel that I can help Filipino basketball.
For sure.
I think that I helped before, but it's time. In the end of my career, maybe I have 2 or 3 more years of coaching career, I can help to Filipino basketball on the way to a little bit share my experience with some younger coaches here.
Coach, we'll talk about, you mentioned the former sports desk anchor also here, Charles Stew, of course, head coach of College of St. Benil. You will be a consultant there. We'll talk more about that and reuniting with Charles. But I want to ask you, you know firsthand how passionate and crazy Filipinos are about basketball. Now, for the first time in 45 years, Philippines will be hosting the World Cup. How big is this? And what can you say about the Filipinos now watching all kinds of teams hosting the World Cup again?
Today I was reading one article in a Serbian newspaper about 1978, the last time when Manila was hosting World Cup. And one of my good friends was the best player in that time, Dražen Dalipagić, And I was talking with him, and it was very exciting to hear, because the memories of Dalipagić for this world, he was the best scorer and MVP of the competition. And it was, nice to hear from the guy who was here, who won the World Cup, to hear some words about Manila and about his memories. I know that the expectations are big here, but we have to be realistic. We have to know that the group of
Gilas
Pilipinas is extremely tough and extremely strong. If you see that Italian team is world ranking number 10,
number 10,
that's 30 position
Spots,
in
yeah.
front of spots in
Gilas,
front of Gilas. The Dominican Republic is 23, Angola is 41, just close to for probably for the people here, Dominican Republic is unknown. It's not that famous team, but if you see the roster
Talented.
of the
Carl
team,
Anthony Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns, they have Al
Veterans like
Horford,
Victor Liz,
veteran.
Yeah. Victor Liz is
Probably
also,
the best two big guys in the competition, in the competition, not just in.
Yeah. They have a
then
young player also, Lester
Duarte,
yeah.
Duarte, who play for
Coach,
Indiana.
I have a question for you. They released a lineup, Lester Quinones, Golden State Warriors, who will be a good replacement for Jordan Poole, also a great talented player with Dominican. So we're playing really talented teams in our group. Gilas Pilipinas, how far realistically do you see them in the tournament? Do you see them go after this round, moving on, up to when? The round of 16, round of 8, until the top 4?
The biggest result for the Gilas will be top 16.
Top 16.
Yeah, that's. But it will be very tough, But I expected that the fans will help Gilas because this passion for the national team, I didn't see anywhere. Everybody like his national team, but here is something special. I expected from the help of the people here, from the fans who supposed to support that Gilas will show some character, some heart, what here they said, puso, and they can be very competitive with all 3 teams, On the paper, it looks that Angola is the worst team, but you have to know that Bruno Fernando played for Atlanta Hawks. He's a big guy. Okay, he scored 3 points, 3 rebounds in Atlanta Hawks, but still he's NBA. And they have an excellent scorer, the same name, Bruno Fernando. That means also it will be tough. On the paper, looks that individual quality of Dominican Republic is in front even of the team of Italy. But Italy, I think that a lot of players, they have just one Fontecchio, NBA player who played with Jordan Clarkson in Utah. But the other players are from EuroLeague and Euro Cup, They are stronger like a team. Maybe Dominican Republic was stronger individually in a talent, what they have. Carl Towns was first pick on the draft, nobody have. And Al Horford was one of the best playing Boston Celtics. It will be very difficult. I expected that even that it will be for Gilas more easier to beat Italy than
Dominican, for sure.
Dominican Republic.
Well, let's talk about another team. Well, it's a different group. Team USA. Your thoughts on Team USA? It's a young team, and they just arrived in the Philippines. What can you say about that team led by Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Brandon Ingram, Mikal Bridges, Jaren Jackson Jr., Tyrese Halliburton, those guys, head coach Steve Kerr? You answer that question after the break. We'll take a timeout. Stay where you are. Coach Rajko Toroman still joining us, first ever head coach of Gilas Pilipinas, for an all-out conversation, and it will continue after a quick break. You're watching Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. And we're back with head coach Rajko Toroman, first ever head coach of Gilas Pilipinas back in 2009. Your thoughts on Team USA, coach? It's a very young team, as I said. They finished in 2019 World Cup, number 7th. Your thoughts on this Team USA? How far can they go?
What I was reading, a lot of people disrespect this team, which is amazing, because that's a lot of talent, a lot of quality.
Undefeated in the friendlies. They're undefeated in the friendlies.
Of course, they're undefeated. It will be a big surprise that somebody touched them, because only who can touch them is maybe Spain.
Serbia.
Serbia,
Spain.
very difficult
Slovenia.
because Slovenia with Doncic, Serbia is without a few, few main guys. But I will be surprised if they lose one game because
Wow.
that kind of quality, that kind of young,
All first-timers,
talented,
wow.
skilled.
So you see Team
player.
USA winning this World Cup in the Philippines?
I can predict that because it will be a big surprise if somebody touch them.
Coach, let's go back to Gilas Pilipinas. We mentioned Jordan Clarkson. He will really carry the load offensively. He is a legit NBA player, former Sixth Man of the Year. But aside from Jordan Clarkson, who else do you see needs to step up for Gilas? Kai Soto. Nick, give me at least 3 players, Coach.
But, it's very difficult now to predict it. Kai Soto came late a little bit.
Correct.
I was watching 2 friendly games against Montenegro and
Ivory?
Ivory Coast. Yeah, and Ivory Coast. He still make adjustment for the team. He's not long with the team. Also Clarkson, you can see that in the first game he played just first half and 3 minutes in the second half.
Yeah.
I like, let's say, Dwight Ramos. I'm impressed on these 2 games with Scottie Thompson, how he play. Mm-hmm. But the crucial for Philippines will be the big guys. That will be crucial. Somebody from the big guys have to step in.
Japet, Junmar, PJ Edu.
Whoever, let's say in the first game against Dominican Republic, they have 2 great big guys, Towns and Horford. These guys can play inside and outside. They have a friendly game against Montenegro. Montenegro has also the same type of the play in Vucevic and Bojan Dubljevic, And it was very difficult for Gilas to guard them, especially for the big guy, Fajardo. It's very difficult to defend inside and outside, and that will be crucial for. I believe that outside player will be, on the level what is necessary for this kind of the competition. But somebody from bigs must step in.
Of course.
If it's Edu. Edu didn't show some offensive skills in these 2 games. Maybe it's just I didn't watch him before. Mm-hmm. But somebody, if they can be competitive on the bigs, they have a big chance to go in the next round.
Coach, you're here again in the country to help Coach Charles Stew, of course, your very good friend. You will be a consultant for College of St. Benilde. They made it to the finals in NCAA Season 98. They took on Letran, the 3-time champs, and then they lost in 3 games. Your thoughts on College of St. Benilde with Charles Stew? You've seen the team. MVP Will Gozum is still there. Mix Oxonded shooter is still there. Miggy Cortez is still there. Your thoughts on College of St. Benilde?
I am happy that I can help a little bit, Charles, to improve this team. I think they have a lot of talented guys. Maybe they don't have a really big guy, really position 5, but still, that's a team with lot of talents. We'll try to do, not just improve them, we'll try to make them play good basketball. I think that the people in Philippines understand, and let's say even Yang Yao, after they lost against Serbia, they said, now I understand that basketball is not just in the United States, that basketball is playing somewhere else, in Europe. And this kind of tactical things, you will see now, the difference between Asian and European style. European teams are playing more tactically, and I will try to implement wherever I can, I will also a little bit work with UE, High School of UE, High School of Letran, Converge.
Yes.
I will try to really share my knowledge, and with all these teams. And if it's necessary to go somewhere else, I will go.
Coach, more on that later on. Also, we will bring in our sports correspondent, Pauline Versosa, who is at the Gilas Open Practice. Stay again where you are. Rest a bit. If you want water, I will give you. Our all-out conversation with former Gilas Pilipinas head coach, one and only Rajko Toroman. Plus, we will get a live update on Gilas Pilipinas from our correspondent, Pauline Versosa. You're watching Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Lastly, we don't have much time. Rico Hizon is already inside the studio for the final word. Your message, Filipino basketball fans, quickly, Coach. Go ahead.
They have to support the Gilas. They need support now because I think that it's possible to make some miracle things here because of the atmosphere here, because of the full gym, because of that. Usually the Philippines players are playing much better at home than on the road. And this is the reason why everybody have to believe that they can make it. The biggest success will be 16, but also I will not be disappointed with the result who will give them opportunity to play on Olympic Games. That means to be the first from Asian teams. That will be also the great result.
Thank you, Coach. Again, first ever head coach of Gilas Pilipinas, Rajko Toroman, joining us on the show. Now team consultant for the CSB Blazers in the NCAA, also the Converge Fiber Xers in the PBA, Valam Coach, and Volim Te in Serbian.
Hvala vama.